This is a Deadpool pinball machine. As you can see, it's made by the manufacturer Stern, and it can be purchased in the UK through Pinball Heaven, who are the UK's largest pinball distributor. And I love this game so much that I bought one. So you don't get much more of an endorsement than that, really. Yes, this is actually my machine, and I love it. The reason I love it so much is because it's got a really easy to understand rule set. It's fast, it's fun. The kids love playing on it as well. It's got some humorous call-outs and some great videos, as you can see there on the HD LCD screen. It's got some easy to achieve multi-balls and a certain amount of nostalgia as well, because the theme of the game is based around the old arcade beat-em-ups in the style of Street Fighter or Tekken, that sort of thing. It's wonderfully packed with beautiful lights, beautiful ramps, and just some absolutely amazing features. One of my favourite features on this game is one of the shots there where you hit the ball up the ramp, it loops across the back of the playfield and actually locks inside the handle of Deadpool's sword. Once you get 3 balls into that, you lock them in, it releases them, and you're into one of the multi-ball modes. In that one, I believe it's called Ninja Multi-Ball, and it's probably worth saying that Deadpool on this game is not particularly fond of ninjas, and you'll find that out because you'll end up fighting them quite a lot. The premise behind the game is relatively simple. You are Deadpool, our caped, I was going to say caped crusader, our capeless crusader, our superhero there, and it's Deadpool's job to beat the villains, to beat his arch enemies, his foes. In this instance, it's Juggernaut, it's Mystique, and it's Sabretooth. If you beat those 3, then you get to fight a T-Rex, a Megalodon, and then, as is always the case with some of these old 8-bit sort of 90s arcade games, you get to the final level, the boss level, and should you complete any of these, you get to fight Mr. Sinister. Which is something I've not quite accomplished yet, but I'm hoping to get there at some point soon. I'll show you some gameplay in just a second. How do we manage to beat these fighters? Well, it's very simple. You'll see popping up on the screen, you'll suddenly be engaged in a fight. You get to that fight by hitting a shot into the scoop, which is lit red, and it's called the battle scoop. That initiates the start of a fight.
Choose your battle.
Once you're in the fight, you're going to need to either punch, kick, or fire a weapon against your opponent, and you do that simply by hitting the lit shots on the playfield. It really couldn't be more simple. As you progress through the game, you fight more and more difficult foes, as I say, to reach the end level. As you're going through this, there are lots of side missions, there are lots of spinners, lots of ramps, lots of targets, some wonderful pop bumpers at the top there. And one of my favourite features on this game is this ramp that we have on the left here, which sees the ball travel up the ramp, perform a U-turn very, very quickly, and on these wire-formed trails return straight back to the flipper where you can start to hit the ball and go about your business. This little guy here is that's little Deadpool. We have the katana sword there, absolutely magnificent. It's full of lights, shots, bells and whistles. Well, there are no, if I'm honest, there are no bells and whistles, but would you want them? I don't know. The lights denote your progress within the game. At the back of the playfield, you can either, once you defeat an opponent, be it Juggernaut, Mystique or Sabretooth, the lights are lit and it tracks your progress. I think it's time to have a little game, maybe show you a bit of gameplay. Okay, I press the start button, the ball will pop into the trough, and off we go. Pop bumpers up the top. Every time one of the pop bumpers gets activated, another ninja comes and joins the fight, as you should be able to see from the screen. I do love that ramp. Fantastic shot. Okay, so I've hit the ball into the scoop, which is going to initiate the battle. I think what I'll do, I'll get to choose. I think I'll select Sabretooth here because, well, I find him the easiest. It's giving me 3 lit shots on the playfield, the yellow ones. You can just see, and there you go. I've hit one of them, which has made me knock him to the ground. So I'm starting to beat him up pretty damn quickly. Famous last words, of course. I have actually technically won the fight here, as you can see. Deadpool wins, but unfortunately I failed to get the bonus. It's quite frenetic. Oh no, I lost all of them. It was going so well, so I thought anyway. Okay, as you may well have seen there, that's locked that ball inside the handle of the sword. That's the second one, that's the second ball locked in the handle of the sword. If I can get a third one, that will initiate a multi-ball. Okay, this may well launch multi-ball now. It has Ninja multi-ball. The reason for that is I locked 3 balls into the handle of the sword. A great little mode this is. It's quite forgiving. It will allow you to lose a few balls at the start. And again, if you can see that trough is lit, which says battle on it. If I can hit that, I'll win this fight against Mystique. There are also options at this point to get additional extra balls and extra points and bonuses. I mean, the idea is really to keep the multi-ball going as long as is physically possible, which is, I mean, very exciting, very frenetic. I don't know if you can see, but extra ball is lit now. There it is. I get an extra ball as well. I mean, the thing about pinball machines is the lights will always tell you what you should be hitting. If something's flashing, if something's lit, try and hit it. It's not a bad rule. And there you have it, a less than formidable example of pinball prowess, it has to be said. But in all honesty, that's one of the great things about this game. It doesn't really matter what your ability level is. If you're an expert, you're going to have great fun on it. If you're a beginner, much the same, and everybody in between. And in actual fact, it doesn't really matter if you're not progressing through the game and maybe hitting the ramps in the order that the game wants you to, because just the process of hitting the balls off the flippers and hitting ramps and initiating multi-balls is great fun. It really is, regardless of whether or not you're getting to the end level or anything else. It's also worth bearing in mind that the game's completely customizable. So if what you want to do is put it just on easy level when you first get it, not a problem. It has a very, very clever computer inside of it. It's a couple of buttons which are just this side of the pinball machine. You press them, you set it to easy. If you want a shorter game for a 3-ball game, again, you just set it to do so. 4 balls, 5 balls, you really can tailor this machine to your specifications. My son will often come down and play this. We don't actually change the settings, and nor will we, because he's actually started to beat me, and that's my 9-year-old son. But he absolutely loves it. He brings his friends round to play it, and especially if we have people around for dinner or anything like that, one of the first things that people say is, can we have a go on the pinball machine? It has become a real feature of the household. If you'd like to get your hands on one of these, you can do so through Pinball Heaven. That's the UK's largest pinball distributor. You can find them online at pinball.co.uk. If you'd like to see a few more of these videos and maybe more of an in-depth gameplay video, I've probably put you off by now, but if you've watched me play enough already, I'm sure. But if you do want to suffer a little bit more, then please do click the subscribe button there and click the link below. Until next time, happy pinballing.